What's popular YouTube? Another day, another Dima. Today, you are watching in order to figure out how to get diamond, how to secure the diamond coin so that you can go to school and tell everybody that you have a diamond coin so that girls turn around and go, oh my God, is that the guy with the diamond coin? So that you can go to your mom and she can finally be proud of you because you achieved something. That is what we are trying to accomplish today with a correct pick'em. Everything is on the line, all right? Legend stage, we got through it. 3-0 gang, Furia 3-0 gang are on top, unbothered, moisturized, inner lane, focused, and ready to take it to the championship stage. Okay, but before we continue, I want to introduce the official sponsor of Lao's no money back Dimundo Pick'ems, Leadify. It's literally free, so hear me out. Quietly, I use Leadify every single time I prepare demos to macro-analyze statistics or look more closely at players on an individual level. Don't conflate free with bad, though. There is no better user-friendly interface to track your own stats and understand what categories of your skills suck. I mean, literally, how bad is your spray? You can look at it.
But wait! There's more!
Free practice servers, 2D replay tool, focus areas feedback, so you can look at your spots that you're bad at and improve. And on your progress report, rank progression, leaderboards, personal best, you name it. Best of all, I've already said it, Leadify is free. So sign up now with your email or Faceit account using my link in the description below. Please, it supports me. Do it. But first, we have to add some context here, okay? So we got 5 correct picks. Lots of people got destroyed. If you weren't watching this channel, sucks to be you. The thing is that when we go over to championship stage, it's not getting easier. It's actually getting harder. Now, before I go into what my picks are right here, I want to quickly go back to Antwerp because in the championship stage in Antwerp, I got everything right except for the first or second quarter between Furia and Spirit. But we did pick FaZe to end up winning it. It was their first major where they won it, so they broke ground here. And this is important. But the reason that I picked FaZe to win this was because, and I think in my heart of hearts, I believe Navi will pull off the repeat. They are the best team. They are the best team still right now. But for now, before any of these playoffs have started, this is who I think will end up winning the major. I think Navi will 2-peat. I think Simple will 2-peat. For the pick'em, I think that FaZe should be the finals winner. Okay, and the reason I think that FaZe should be the finals winner is because I think there are more chances for Navi to lose here. Not because they were the favorites, because I think Navi in some respect are the favorites because they had we won a major and they clearly of course still could have won this one as well, but because Navi could have lost on the way to the finals. Okay, now that didn't end up happening, but when you got this finals matchup, there's still very good odds for the other team, and I think the logic here, if you'll stick with me for a second, if we move forward to the championship stage, will follow the first rounds, Outsiders Fnatic. I think Outsiders are going to win this game. In my opinion, this game doesn't matter. Why? Because Cloud9 are going to win the second, and Cloud9 will likely beat Outsiders. So we can put them to make it to the finals. Cloud9 have the easier side of the bracket right now. They were obviously one of the strongest teams. They're the strongest team at the major right now. Cloud9 are the strongest team at the major right now. Beating Heroic in that last best of 3 to make it through Legends was one of the most impressive games of CS I ever watched. When I casted, I said that it felt like Cloud9 were playing as if the match was online, which was the highest compliment I could possibly give to this team. Okay, since their online period, there was a point during the online period where I watched them play, and I said, this is the most perfect CS that I've ever witnessed in the 9 years or whatever that we've watched CSGO and Pro CS teams play against each other. Cloud9 online in that 2020-2021 period played CS to a degree of severity, the level that was unparalleled in terms of how perfect every single detail was, on top of having one of the most stacked individual rosters you could possibly ask for. Elite Opper, perfect right-hand man in Axile, a very unique and interesting style, and the ability to take down top teams, whether or not they would win tournaments. Everything's come together for them. They are in the best possible position here in the playoff bracket with the easier side of the bracket. Now, when we go down, I will take Heroic to take Team Spirit. I think this is a matchup that Spirit have incredibly good individuals. I don't even think Spirit were a better team than Liquid in terms of as a team, but they have amazing individuals and a pretty damn good team, and they did mess up the veto a little bit and ended up, or Liquid messed up the veto and ended up taking Spirit on very strong maps for them. Maybe a bit of overconfidence. They also played Vertigo versus Heroic and got blown out on that. So you could have kind of precipitated that outcome. But I'm just going to take Heroic because I think they're the favorites. I think they're better, and I think that they should do this. And there's a reasonable chance that the Heroic could even go farther. So in this next round, all right, listen, on July 24th of this year, I tweeted, "I'm from the future. Furia win Rio." Okay? And now that we're in the playoff bracket, I would like to say two things. Number one, it would obviously be incredible if Furia were able to tear through Navi, Heroic, and Cloud9 and make it to the grand finals and win in front of the home crowd. It's literally my dream. I mean, you guys know Furia are my favorite team, and I'm always rooting for them. The second thing is that they're playing against Navi, which is the hardest first round they could possibly have. Navi tear through them. Furia have a best-of-3 victory online versus Navi in Pro League. It's not like impossible that that Furia win this game. I want to say Navi are not perfect right now, but I think Navi are the best team here. Okay, so that's the other thing. Now, this is just me. The team that I want to win this whole event is, of course, Furia. But I'm doing this for people to watch who want to win the Diamond Coin, and so I'm going to pick the team to go through that has the highest chance of making it. I'm going to follow through that logic as this bracket goes on. So I would say odds severely in favor of Navi, of course. Playing in front of the crowd is one thing. Furia are going to have an entire stadium around them. They've done really well in front of the crowd. They've mounted comebacks. They had that amazing match versus Spirit where it felt like there was no chance it would win on Mirage, and they came back into that game. That was very impressive. I think Furia are playing extremely well, and if there was some magic in the air, I talked to Frozen earlier today, and he genuinely said, honestly, he's like, yeah, I think there is a chance that they could beat them. I think that in terms of odds and probabilities, this of any of the other quarters is the most lopsided. So let's say, for example, Navi beat Furia in this situation. They go on to play against Heroic. Now, we got similar logic here between Navi and Heroic last time around, where to get through this side of the bracket in the champion stage of Antwerp, and Navi would have to play against Heroic. And my logic was that there's a chance that Heroic could beat Navi, and there was. And Heroic have always had a very good map pool versus Navi. The only team in the world that Navi tried to have a tricky veto versus is Heroic, and they will often try to avoid Nuke, for example, versus Heroic because they're genuinely worried about them, and that says a lot. So there is a world where Heroic can beat Navi, and I think for that reason, even if I'll put Navi through, this side of the bracket being a little bit more difficult means that there's a chance that Navi can't make it through, and I want to put Cloud9 as the grand finalist because of that. So if you ask me right now and there's nothing on the line, I think Navi will win this major, okay? But to follow through with my pick'em logic from last time around, the team that has the freest run to the finals and a solid chance of beating the other potential grand finalists should be the team that you pick to win the whole thing. And for that reason, I'm going to pick Cloud9 to take it. Cloud9 do have a best-of-1 win versus Navi, and I think the only thing that's holding me back, of course, from the idea that Cloud9 could win this whole thing is it's the first time this roster would do it together. Of course, Hobbit is a major champion himself, but to win a tournament like this would be, in terms of storylines, the most incredible thing to have another team. It kind of speaks to the year of parity where we have like basically the strongest top 10 that we've ever seen, where we have teams like Cloud9 and Heroic specifically that they were born in the online period, but then have survived it, and they've won LAN tournaments, two LAN tournaments respectively. Cloud9 winning Dallas, and Heroics wasn't as big, but still, and are starting to beat the idea that they're online teams. And I think the coolest thing, again, for me with Cloud9 is that they showed that they could play to their online level, on LAN, in front of a cloud, under the highest pressure possible. So I have a lot of faith in Cloud9 that even if they came up against Navi, they could crumble. This is, again, their first final. And when I picked FaZe last time, that was another story, that the choke factor is massive. I mean, the pressure here is massive. There's no reference games to say that they've won a major before. In fact, a horrible loss to Cloud9 last time around for FaZe in 2018. These things matter. But of course, there are going to be stories as the years roll on of teams that win their first major. And I think that this has the makings of that story. It'll be them going up against Simple, who is still the best player in the world and the best player, here. Even if Zywoo's been playing well, he's not even in this playoff bracket right now. And I think that if you run this best of 3 10 times, I feel like Navi win it about 7. I think that Navi are the best team. They have the best T sides. And I actually think that they, in terms of individual level, don't stack up to FaZe. They might not even stack up to Cloud9. where it feels like they've got simple bit and electronic. Bit's not playing that well right now, and players like SDY and Perfecto are incredibly intelligent support players, but it's not really like 4 out of 5 carries and then an extra player, where NAVI, for example, on Cloud9 has had a very strong major so far, and with Shiro, Hobbit, and Axile on top of NAVI, that kind of tips the scales for me in terms of who's actually got better individuals. And that's, again, to say that this is why I feel Navi are the best team, because I don't even think they're the highest, most heavily stacked roster. Now, this could come down to how great Shiro is. I mean, he had a great challenger, decent legends, but more human. And he's in great form for sure. And it's just, I don't think anyone's as good as Simple, just period. I don't know if that'll change. That won't change based on my predictions. I will just watch and see if it changes and then change my mind. And this could be one of those tournaments where that all goes down. So, listen, outside of Pick'ems, I'm so excited to see what happens. This is going to be such an incredible playoff run potentially for some of these teams. I could see Heroic making this final. I could even see Furia making this final if something goes terribly wrong for Navi, because they don't look perfect at the moment. I just think they have the ability to be the best, to be clear. But that's why I'm going to pick Cloud9 to take this whole thing. Again, I've a couple of qualifications here, and just to remember that if I were to tell you what to pick, Navi are a great choice, and probably even more the favorites. If you think they'll make it through Heroic, no problem, and that they will be able to just beat Cloud9, no problem, because of the thing, I would say Navi, in my mind, are technically the favorites in playoffs overall. If Heroic were on the Cloud9 side of the bracket, I would take Navi to win this thing. And I think, for me, a lot of this rests on having a harder semi than Cloud9 do. Choke is going to matter for a lot of these teams. And yes, this is a lot of words and a lot of stuff to think about. But this is my logic. It's got me through Antwerp. And listen, I actually want the diamond more than anyone else right now, because we're one of few people who actually have survived the legend stage. Most people ended up getting gold. I'm going with Cloud9 to take this. Honestly, I just really hope they do, just from a storylines perspective. That's my favorite part about all this, watching incredible stories take place, which I think that's everyone, right? But you let me know. Who do you think is going to take it? What's your logic? Do you think I've messed up here in any sense? And are you going to win the diamond? That's the question. Are you going to have the diamond? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Good luck to everybody on your road to diamond. Make sure to watch everyone's videos and see what other people have to say, and try to make the best prediction based on that. Let's have some fun, okay? Thanks for watching.